Miss Bell, you were hired as a nanny by the defendants to take care of their 2-year-old little boy while they were vacationing in Europe. You were to accompany them. You left on the 13th of July, and shortly thereafter, it is your claim that you were fired. While in Europe, you want the first week of salary, which was agreed on, it's $400.
Yes, Your Honor.
And you want the cost of changing your airline ticket because you left early.
Yes.
The defendants, they say that you were an awful nanny, that they really had problems trusting you with the child, but that they didn't fire you, that you quit on your own, and if you quit on your own, you absorb the cost of going home, and they're counterclaiming for the cost of getting a new nanny. Really?
Yes, Your Honor.
That's not happening. That's ridiculous.
It wasn't the cost of the new nanny, Your Honor. It was the cost incurred for all the expenses that we spent for the change fees for plane tickets and all the other stuff that we had to fly someone in.
That's ridiculous.
Okay.
What I don't understand in this whole thing is if you have somebody that you claim was inappropriate, and how was she inappropriate?
Several reasons. First, when we first got on the airplane, she couldn't take care of my son whatsoever.
Your Honor.
On our first trip going over from New York to Rome, she wasn't able to take care of my son on the flight, and I had to sit with my son, and she sat with my husband on the plane all the way over to Europe.
And?
So that's when it started.
Go ahead.
So I took care of him. Then when we got to Rome, we got into our hotel, checked into our hotel. We had adjoining suites. She took my son down to the butterfly farm so Joe and I could have breakfast in our room and have room service. She went down for a couple hours, came back. My son was completely sunburned. He had a heat stroke and was vomiting. When we went on from Rome I didn't want to leave her alone at all with our son. So then the next day, she went to the Vatican by herself and did not, because I didn't want to leave her with my son. So we went to the villa from there, and she shook my son. The next day, she took off and said she wanted to have Sundays off so she could go to church. She went down to the beach and drank with other people that were at the beach and came home that day and said, I quit. I can't do this job, cried. And then from there, we called her parents. I said, you can't quit. We're not even 1 week into our vacation. And
you can't quit. You just told me all these reasons that she was incapable of caring for your child and placed him at risk. And what do you mean you said to her you can't quit?
Well, because we were there for 5 weeks, and we
Take care of him yourself.
Well,
I mean, what did you have him for?
Well,
huh?
well, obviously we had to take care of him ourselves.
Just a second. Absolutely. You don't leave your 2-year-old with somebody who you believe, and I'm not making a judgment whether she's incapable or not.
Right.
But what I don't understand that, I mean, she's a kid. You're not. I'm going to get to her in a second and find out what nanny training she had. And I don't want to hear about taking care of your sister.
We hired her, Your Honor, to come over there and to perform duties as a nanny. And
she wasn't incapable. A good nanny. That's why when your son gets a little older, you'll put him in nursery school. And if you find that they're not taking care of him in nursery school, or if they're not changing his diaper, or if they're not giving him food, or if he keeps getting sick, or if one of the other children isn't supervised and hurts him, then you'll take him out of that nursery school. And you don't sue the nursery school for the cost of another nursery school, because that's ridiculous. You're the parents. Somebody is not taking care of your child in what you believe is an appropriate manner. You find another caregiver. You don't say, well, we're in Europe now and we're here to have a good time, so we'll let her continue to take care of him.